Welcome back, friends. Lessons with Mr. Keith. Today we're going to be talking about the bow and the bow hold and how to properly bow on your violin so you can start making a sound. So this is your bow and a couple parts of the bow. This is the tip. This is the body. This is the frog. And this is the screw. And then here is your bow hair. Now back in the day, they used to make these out of horse's tail hair. Nowadays, I think it's more synthetic, but I always like to remind people to never touch the hair because, as you can see, the oils from our skin can make it turn black and discolored, and you won't be able to produce a sound. Luckily for me, this is just a practice bow, and I have a few others, but it still plays well. So, first things first, when you get a bow, you want to take the screw and screw it. Now, you'll see that there's a small gap, okay? And you're gonna wanna turn it righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. We wanna tighten it, so we wanna turn it to the right, and you'll see that the gap gets bigger. Now, there is a such thing as too much, or it being too big. As you can see, this is an older bow, so I don't know how much further it's going to get, but your bow will actually start to bend down like that, and then it'll look like it's frowning, and that means it's way too tight. Even this is too tight. Okay, so we're going to unscrew it to about here. Okay, and when we're done, you want to always unscrew it as well. So when you're finished playing for the day, go ahead and screw it till about like that. Now there is a such thing as screwing it too loose. As you can see now, looks like the hairs are gonna fall off, right? So we don't want that. Just have it where the hairs aren't flopping. About like that. When you're finished playing. Okay? So now that we understand what the screw does, we're going to learn our bow hold, how we properly hold a bow. So I want you to take your left hand and grab the body of the bow, but don't touch the hair. Okay? And then your right hand, I want you to do I love you in sign language. This means I love you in sign language. Okay? We're going to place our thumb in the frog like this. We're going to take our two middle fingers and lay them over here to about the second knuckle, your middle knuckles, not these down here, but the second one. You're going to lay your index finger on the first knuckle, and then your pinky is going to be placed on top. Okay, and you see there's a nice slant in my hand? That is how you properly hold a bow. It is going to be insanely uncomfortable. Insanely uncomfortable when you first start. But the more you practice, the better it gets. Okay? So, this is how you properly hold a bow. I'm going to do it one more time. Okay, we're holding it, the body with our left hand. Got our right hand. Make I love you. Put the thumb rest right in here in the frog. Our two middle fingers to the second knuckle. Index finger in the first. Pinky on top. And have that little slight in their hand right there. Okay? Good job. So now, when we have this, we have what's called down bow and up bow. And I'll show you with the instrument. Okay? A down bow is when we're opening up our elbow. I call it our gate. So we open up our gate. That's a down bow. And then an up bow is when we close our gate. Okay? So there's a couple things that I like to pay attention to when we're learning how to use the bow. And I'll get into those in just a second, but make sure when you are bowing, you're bowing in between the fingerboard and the bridge. So don't bow past the bridge and don't bow too far up on the fingerboard. Right here in this gap in the middle, okay? Okay, so things that we're going to pay attention to when we're bowing is the open and closing of our gates. We're going to start on our D string. If you don't remember what the D string is, stop this video, go back to my first one, find it, and then we'll be ready to go. Okay? So our D string, so we want to open and close our gate, which is our elbow right here. Opening and close our gate. Now you don't have to press down super hard unless you need rosin, which I will get into rosin toward the end of this, but you should, if there's no, you don't have to press down hard. If you have enough rosin on your bow, you should just be able to set it and play. So we open, and now we're going to close. Okay, do it again. And close. Good. Now, the second thing we want to focus on when we're bowing is the flexibility in our wrists. So we want to be flexible in our wrist. You don't want to play with a locked or tight wrist because that's going to cause problems when you try to play more quickly. So, what I mean by flexibility now is like this, okay? So while keeping your bow hold, I want you to try and do this by keeping your bow hold as best as you can, okay? And this is the kind of flexibility you're going to want in your wrist. Okay? So, when we go down, our knuckles are going to be flat, like this. Our wrist comes flat, and our knuckles come back and down. So it'll be like this. So that we keep a straight bow. But when we go up, our wrist pops up and our knuckles do as well. So it should be like that when we come up. Okay, so I'm going to go down and my wrist and my knuckles come down. And up, everything comes up. Down, my wrist is down. Now my wrist is up. Right? And then the last thing we want to do when we're bowing is making sure we have circles. Make circles with your elbow. Okay? And that's going to offset the comfortability, for one, of your wrist popping down, going down, and up when you go up. But it's also going to help. Watch my elbow. Okay, so you've seen how my elbow is making a circle. Those are the three things you want to focus on when you're bowing. Okay, I said again about pressing too hard and you want to have rosin. Make sure that if you're not getting a sound, if you're getting like an airy, whispery sound, then you're going to need rosin. And there's a couple ways you can apply rosin. You can take the screw and you can scratch it and it'll start to produce a dust, and you just drag your bow across it, and you want to get, I usually like scrape toward the tip and also the frog, just because those spots, they need it more. And the other way to apply rosin is just doing this. You don't really have to scrape it, just your preference. Depends on your bow as well, how much it needs. So that's rosin. And So we're going to recap one more time what we learned today. Let's recap our bow hold. I love you. Thumb and frog. Second knuckles together. First knuckle. Pinky on top. Slant in the hand. Remember, open and close the gate. Open. Close. Flexibility in the wrist. Circles with the elbow. Awesome. You guys are one more step closer to mastering the violin. I'm so proud of you. Our next video, we are going to get into the notes. You're going to learn all of the notes on the violin. You're going to learn how to play with a good tone. And we're going to get you kicked off going and have you knocking this out. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell. Thank you for spending your time with me. See y'all next time. Peace.
For my family, communications team, we all have the same responsibility. There ain't nothing better. We'll play together. We'll play together. We'll pray together. Because we are family. Amen. Ooh, ah, ooh, ah.